Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Happy Friday. Today is looking good, especially for two specific alts that I'll be talking about today. And of course, I got to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin adoption is accelerating. And not only that, crypto adoption is accelerating. And what does that mean? Pump incoming for everything. So let's discuss what's going on today, what to expect, and have a good old Q&A. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Like I said, happy Friday. We are up quite a lot from last night, up about 2,000 points. So we're right around 89.4. We touched, we touched about 90,000 today. It's just quite funny that we just gotten used to like 90,000 now. It's just, it's only been like 3 days and somehow like 90,000 is the norm. It's just really funny. What, a week ago we were still, like in the 70s, and 2 weeks ago we were in the 60s, and now like 90,000 is just, wow. That's like a nothing burger these days. But it really is. It really is. But today we got some good movers. Like XRP going up to the moon right now at 88 cents, and could be heading to $1, a level unseen since 2021. And you know what? Cardano is joining in up to 66 cents, 67 cents, and could be heading higher. So today we got two really good movers that are leading the pack, and I'll tell you why. But today could be a good day for Bitcoin. Let's see where it goes. The U.S. market, let's start out with that. U.S. market is not looking so good right now. And that's because Fed Chair Powell yesterday kind of like said, whoa, things are going a little bit too quick. Even though I do think, and everyone still thinks, that there will still be another rate cut next month. I think he purposely just said, hey, the market's getting a little bit too hot. Let's slow things down. So he basically said at this other conference he was at, hey, we're not in a rush to keep cutting rates. Even though the agenda is, yes, they're in a rush to cut rates. But he just said that because he knows the consequences of his words and how Wall Street and everyone will react to it. So I really honestly think he just said that for the sake of saying it. And that's why, markets crashed yesterday afterwards. Crypto crashed. Everything crashed. Crash is a strong word, but like halted the gains. And that's why the 10-year yield jumped up today, and the market is not looking so good. Even though, again, it could turn around. It's just slight. It's really just, again, halting the gains. That's what it really comes down to, right? And MicroStrategy had 2 straight down days. Yesterday was barely down. Today is barely up. Let's see if it could gain back. Because right now, this is the best way to look at it. Both MicroStrategy, Coinbase, and anything else, right? I've been talking about the same thing with Bitcoin. I've been talking about how things have been getting a little bit too overheated, too hot, right? Those of you guys that's been watching MicroStrategy stock and you're like, when is it ever going to come down? Same thing with Bitcoin or Coinbase, whatever. When is it ever going to come down? The fact of the matter is, it's probably not going to come down anytime soon because of how hot things are and because we're heading into the FOMO stage of this cycle. Look at the last 6 months performance. It's not going to slow down. So actually, along the way, we're probably going to get small little dips and corrections. And if we do, you really got to see them as gifts. You really do. When I was saying this at 30 and 40,000, people just like said, whatever, Jordan. I don't care. I don't care about having gifts around 34,000. When we're hovering around 90,000 Bitcoin and MicroStrategy is now at 300 something, it's not at 100s or 200 anymore. You really got to see these dips as buying opportunities, because as we go higher, as we climb up to $100,000, you go wish you had these buying opportunities. We're not going to have many of them going into December and 2025. So, I mean, the best way is any dips that we have now, think of them as gifts so that you can buy cheap crypto or Bitcoin at a discount. Like if you're going to a retail store, big box store, wherever, and you see one of your favorite tools or whatever, TVs, at a 6% or 10% discount, that's how you got to look at it, because, man, things are going to get very, very expensive very fast, and they're never going to come down again. That's how you got to view it, right? So right now, it's gift giving season right now, I would say, right? As we have like a little, very little breather. Like I said, we were just in the 60s just like a few weeks ago. Any little dip, see as a gift, okay? Because we're going to go a lot higher, and these big institutions these big institutions and companies and even countries soon, they will not give you any opportunity to buy anymore. I mean, they don't really care about you. They don't care about giving you a gift. They don't care if you grab any for yourself, because they will continue to buy and buy and buy. Even though yesterday I did show you guys that we did have massive outflow from many of the ETFs. Guess who didn't have an outflow? BlackRock. Larry Fink, he knows what's up. There's a bigger agenda with BlackRock and Larry Fink. While others sold $500 million worth of Bitcoin, his fund took in $126 million. And overall, there are a lot more going in, a lot more inflows, I should say, than outflows. And that is going to drive things higher. And there are so many companies out there, institutions that you just don't know, that's just loading up nonstop. They're not going to tell you. Not everyone's like Michael Saylor. Not everyone's very boastful about, oh, I just purchased another $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. They're not going to tell you that. And only Saylor tells you that. Everyone else keeps it on a down low. And they have no choice but to tell you when they actually reveal their quarterly, because they have to do a SEC filing every quarter. But they try to hide it as much as possible. It's not something that they really want to reveal. For example, Goldman Sachs just revealed through their SEC filing they hold 710 million Bitcoin ETFs. Again, the CEO of Goldman Sachs does not tweet that, hey, we just bought $710 million of Bitcoin ETFs. No, he does not say that. And no one else will say that. But they will secretly buy up more and more ETFs or Bitcoin themselves until there's no more. So that's why any of these dips, anything that you see, as we move forward, you got to really see them as buying opportunities, because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and realize, man, I had so many opportunities and I skipped out on all of them or a majority of them, and now I feel foolish, right? And even at 90K, wherever we at, it seems like it's so high, but next year, when we're sitting at 200,000, 250,000, 300,000, you're going to say the same thing. It's the same time. It's the same concept every single cycle. People have said that since the beginning. I could have bought Bitcoin at 1,000 or $10. I could have bought it at, I just did an interview with someone yesterday that said that a friend told him about it at $20 and he refused to buy it. And I had coworkers that told me I heard about it at $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. It's the same story over and over and over and over and over. Here's another story. Another NASDAQ listed company pledges to allocate 60% of their cash to Bitcoin. That is awesome. So we're going to see more and more of this as we move forward. And I talked about this last night, but you know, we talk about how Trump is going to implement a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now we're having states that could possibly do so. So that's terrific. We're going to have states that's going to put Bitcoin in the reserve. We're going to have countries do it. Again, outside of the institutions and companies, you're going to have states, you're going to have countries. It's going to be mass FOMO. There's going to be such a big supply shock. We're not going to have enough. This is something that we've never, ever seen before. Ever in any previous cycles. We're living through the very first cycle where we have so much adoption. We've just never seen it. We have just never, ever seen it. So it'll be quite interesting what happens next year. We're all speculating at this point. We're just going based on history. We're using the charts. We're using fractal patterns, all that. That's all great. But if we never went through a cycle with huge ETFs soaking up the supply, we never went through a cycle where a freaking country like the US is going to put Bitcoin into its reserve. I mean, we've never had this before. And we're going through a very first cycle where the reserve of Bitcoin on the exchange is actually going down. And that's significant. We've never gone through a cycle where the exchange reserves is actually going down. This is the first one. It started after the last cycle. So that's also significant. We're going through a lot of firsts, and these are all contributing to this giant supply shock that I've been alluding to for quite some time. And I don't know, 2025 could just be absolutely crazy. Just craziness. VanEck also says we're going to get repeated all-time highs for the next 2 quarters, nonstop. And I showed this interview the other day, and what's interesting about what this guy says, Matthew Siegel, he's like, throughout the repeated highs, we're going to see continued 6% dips. And you know what? I checked our recent dip from 93,000 down to like our 80, 86,000, wherever it was. Guess what? It was about 6%. So he was dead accurate on that. So we keep getting these repeated 6% dips, and then we recover and go higher and higher and 6%, higher 6%. Hey, that's good. That's better than keep going and then we get a massive 30% dip. That would be horrible. If we go and just keep having 6% dips and we use those as, you know, DCA opportunities, that would be absolutely fantastic. But VanEck, which is a big fund manager, absolutely huge fund manager of ETFs, says that Bitcoin will go up to 180,000. And that's a conservative estimate. That's not an aggressive one by any means. I mean, the way we're going now, after we hit 100,000, we may be ending up at 125,000 by the end of this year. If we had hit 125,000 by the end of this year, 180,000 by the end of 2025 seems very, very, very conservative. Here's a more accurate one. 90 to 200,000. But yeah, outside of Bitcoin, you guys know, like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's not just Bitcoin that's moving. Today, we got a couple others, right? A couple other crypto that are moving as well. You know, a lot of it, you kind of know, right? Like throughout this year, we hear about Tether being minted, I should say, and we're seeing more and more of it come into the market. And whenever you see that happen, you know big moves are coming. They're being minted for a reason. Whales or institutions, whoever, is giving a whole bunch of money to Tether, and Tether's giving them a whole bunch of USDT, and they're being deposited into exchanges. And guess what they're going to do with it? They're going to do something with it. They're going to buy crypto, right? So that is why A lot of you guys are getting very excited because your altcoin bags are starting to move along with Bitcoin, right? And if we're following the same pattern as the last cycle, well, then a lot of things should start moving now that Bitcoin has broken into new high territory. And, you know, altcoin season, at least the mini one, should be following. ETH is following, nowhere near all-time high yet, but it is on its way up. However, there are two specific ones that are moving today, and I already told you guys which ones. ADA, which is going up right now even further, 67 cents, and XRP to the moon, 89 cents. Why is that? Well, two reasons. Number one, Gary Gensler basically resigned yesterday. He gave a farewell speech. He didn't actually come out and say he was resigning, but he did give a farewell speech. And 18 states filed a lawsuit against the SEC for overreach. So you know he's gone. Maybe he's going to actually resign today. If it's not today, it's tomorrow. It's sometime before the end of the year. So that's why Ripple started going up, because there's this lawsuit, actually all the lawsuits Ripple won, but then the SEC decided to appeal on one of them or two of them. So now people are thinking if he's out, Ripple and XRP are in the clear. They could do whatever they want. They have big ambitions with the new stablecoin going IPO. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So that is why. And also, Robinhood is listing them. And that's all good. That's why XRP is going up. They've been suppressed for, 6 years? They have not broken through their 2018 high of $4 for, like I said, 6 freaking years. XRP Army have watched literally every other altcoin break through their all-time high, and XRP has not gotten close. Maybe this cycle is where it changes. I don't know. But, at least this brings some excitement. Hey, we're about to crack 90 cents. That's awesome. Maybe we're going to crack $1 for XRP today. That would be a level unseen for like 3 years. 3 years. That would be awesome. And something else, why Cardano is going up, and I actually talked about this last night before it started pumping. Actually, if you guys tuned in last night, you could have caught this, because I talked about how Charles went to visit Elon at SpaceX, and basically Cardano and Hedera, they both are contenders of this new blockchain initiative for the new Department of Government Efficiency to see if voting and ID system can be put on a blockchain. And, of course, Cardano and Hedera, they're the two chains that's being considered right now. That's why Charles is actually visiting Elon. So, this was yesterday, and I'm like, I looked at ADA last night. I'm like, why didn't it go up? And then, literally an hour after I streamed, ADA started pumping. I'm like, okay, ADA should have pumped after that news. And that's the reason why it's going up right now. And ADA is up freaking 18%, and now it's up even more. It's about to crack through 70 cents. So that's why these two are going up. The others haven't really followed yet, but I have a feeling they will. And Bitcoin's about to crack 90K again. So today overall, guys, it's XRP and Cardano day right now. I'm sure there's others that are pumping. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin pumps, everything else is going to pump. It's going to be really fantastic. Okay? That's it. Let's see. The U.S. market. Elon is raising $6 billion to buy 100,000 more NVIDIA chips. U.S. market is still kind of in the red. MicroStrategy up. Coinbase up. Those are good. And we're off to the races. I feel compelled to show this before we go in Q&A.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
All right. Now it's time for Q&A. That, you know, I've been playing the most educational video on XRP for years upon years. People thought it was a joke, but it was really just an educational video. Yeah, and today's, you know, full moon, okay? People like to laugh at the full moon concept, but, you know, full moons, generally speaking, pumps crypto, pumps Bitcoin. Not always, but a lot of these big moves coincide with big, you know, full moons. It doesn't always, but a lot of them do. Man, they're neck and neck. I don't know if you could see, like, you probably can't, but both Cardano and XRP are neck and neck at plus 16.8, 16.7, basically 17%. If you threw a long last night, I mean, you'll be up. One of my longs, I think on XRP was over 100%. Like, I closed it and reopened it, but like, it's just crazy. And then the memes got really slow because of these pumps. Man, XRP is still going. When will you start selling at BTC? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. I think we're going to go a lot higher. Nutrition is life. Fat Colonel, hey George, trying to decide on another coin to add in my portfolio. What are your thoughts on either Polkadot or Chainlink? I'm not greedy and 5x would do. I don't know what's in your portfolio. I'm certainly not a fan of Polkadot. Chainlink, I'm okay on, neutral, but it depends on what your portfolio is comprised of. I mean, there are a lot of great offerings. Obviously, you should have Sol in there. I don't know if you have Sui in there. Maybe even have some XRP in there. I don't know why I'm saying that. AVAX is another good one. I would say throw a meme in there if you don't have one. I think meme is very important. It doesn't mean you have to go all in on a meme, but just put a small amount because I think memes are going to dominate this cycle too. Oh man. Aptos. What do you think about Aptos? I don't get asked a lot about Aptos. And I don't really hear a lot about Aptos, to be quite honest. I just know about the beginnings. I don't know of any recent activities. But you know what? Let's check the TVL. That's one thing that you can't hide. Let's see how high it is. $1 billion? That's pretty good. That's a lot higher than, say, Cardano. So that's not bad. What's the leading DEX? These are all like liquid staking and lending. Kind of weird. Their DEX, the TVL on their DEXs are quite small. Most of their TVL is all from liquid staking and lending. So not a whole lot of people are actually trading. That's actually quite interesting. I've never heard of any of these projects before. Well, PancakeSwap I have, but like none of the other ones I've ever heard of. Yeah, so that TVL may be a little bit off. Amnis Finance. Never heard of this. Well, oh well. If it's legit, it's legit. I like Near. I forgot about Near earlier. Near is into AI now, so I think they're good. They have promise. Very kind of considered a VC chain. Ton of VC backers. Kind of like Solana, but it is what it is. Murphy Jack, I have thoughts on ETC. I had a bunch, went to ADA. I think that's the right choice. Vari Z, new member, welcome. Free speech. It seems like appropriate time to rotate Bitcoin profits into alts. Not completely, man. That could be, there's a lot of fake outs like that. Right now, as you notice, it's like a few specific alts. It's not all alts. A lot of times there are a few fake outs like this where whales purposely drive things up on a few alts and then use those profits to then pump Bitcoin again. So I would say if you're very light on alts, maybe you could do that a little bit, but vast majority of alts have not moved yet. It's not altcoin season yet, but we may see like a mini altcoin season towards the end of the year. I definitely think we could be seeing something like that. XLM is not moving, supposed to move XRP. That is no longer the case. XLM is a lost chain, lost project. I think they lost their identity. I don't think they know what they want to do anymore. They got a ton of money. Jem and Caleb is rich beyond measure, but as a chain, I don't think they know what they want to do. Who am I rooting for? Of course, Tyson. If the fight is legit, Tyson has a good shot to knock him out really early. But if it's prolonged into like round 8 or whatever, I think then Tyson doesn't have enough stamina to probably last. But if it's fixed, obviously, then Tyson can't knock him out in the first round. Because if they have something in their contract where it has to go at least like 5 rounds or something, because of the viewership or something, then I don't know. Then Jake Paul's probably gonna win. But I really want Tyson to win. But he's like 60 years old. 58-year-old versus a 26-year-old. No, Luke, I really hope it's not a draw. Draw would be the worst way to end that fight. I'd rather see someone win than a draw. That would be horrible. If they did a draw and they'd say, "Oh, we got to do a rematch," then you know for sure it's rigged because they're just doing it so that they could do a rematch thing. No, it better not be a draw. Like the other one, the Mayweather fight, Mayweather versus Logan, you clearly saw that it was rigged. There was a part where Mayweather knocked him out and he carried him on his shoulder. I'm pretty sure you guys saw. He knocked him out, he carried him on his shoulder like for like a good 10, 20 seconds and he was trying to wake him up. He wouldn't let him fall. Had he like, if Mayweather just moved out, he would have fell down. But he purposely held him, like it was talking in his ear, like wake up, wake up, wake up. Like you could clearly tell that he didn't want him to go down. Hopefully that's not the same way with this fight. Adam, I think Netflix, and you could do pay-per-view, but why don't you just sign up to Netflix, like $20 or $10 to watch the fight rather than pay like whatever a pay-per-view is. Digi, you're welcome. I'm glad you stayed. Octavio, I love banter. All they talk about is memes. Yeah. They're, I think they realize they can't compete with me on Bitcoin content, so they have to talk about something else. I just met Rand recently at in Dubai. We were at this smaller content creator conference, CCCC. That conference was actually much better than I thought. A lot of creators that I've never met before. Usually I meet them all because I go to all these conferences, but there were actually a lot that I haven't seen. Tony, I covered that story. Yep. We could get states. We could have states soon putting Bitcoin into their treasury, making Bitcoin a strategic reserve. That would be awesome. What's going to happen to ICP? I can't tell you that. Never been an ICP fan. Thoughts on GPU, aka Node AI? It's a smaller upcoming project in the DePIN space, more focused on AI, but it's really just a DePIN play. It looks promising. DePIN play hasn't been all that hot recently. So we'll see. It could be a good play. There are a lot of projects that are similar though. Very similar. Harold says it's not legit. The contract pays out more the longer it goes on. Jake approved the judges as well. Yeah, but someone like Tyson, I think for his reputation, it doesn't matter. He still wants to get a quick knockout because he knows the longer it goes on, the more advantage Jake has, right? So still an disadvantage to try and knock him out early, first few rounds. Unless he's really desperate for money and he just wants to go all the way around, so he doesn't care. but I don't think he's that broke. Franco, do you think the Santa rally will be exclusive to Bitcoin this time or altcoins as well? I think it's going to be everything. I think the Santa rally is going to push Bitcoin above 100, and we're going to see a lot of money flow into the alts. I think we will get a mini altcoin season as well. But I think most of the gains will still be Bitcoin, but alts, we're going to see some good gains, like what we saw the last few days. And what we're seeing right now, XRP and ADA up almost 20%. We saw a lot of memes go up like 20, 30, 40%. We're going to see some of that definitely by the end of this year. Dropped off the Neon EVM, down 50%. Curious if it's worth chasing. It's an interesting project. It's, you know, it allows EVM developers to come on board Solana. Supposedly that project is funded by the Solana Foundation, but I just don't know if it's like appealing because devs, I don't know. It's like a lot of devs are just programming straight, you know, on top of Solana already. I don't know if it's going to be that appealing to get EVM developers to come aboard to still program on Solidity while being on Solana. Wouldn't they just program directly on whatever code that Solana uses? I don't know. Maybe there's a big market for it. I just don't know enough about it. I just don't. But that's the whole purpose, right? It's a EVM based chain on top of Solana. It sounds promising. I just don't know if the market is big enough for it. Maybe. But, you know, the ETH market is so weak right now. Injective. Yes. I like it. Are there several altcoins in the bull run? How does it work? The biggest one comes at the tail end of a market. The last month of the bull run, that's true altcoin season. That's when everything goes up like 5x, 10x. But during a bull cycle, yes, you see many mini altcoin seasons where you see periods where everything just goes up. And then it kind of stops. All that money flows back into Bitcoin. It pumps Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin consolidates. Then the money goes in altcoins. It's kind of like, you know, it goes like in tandem like that for a while. But, you know, it might not do that this time. Before, the whales did that to generate enough profits to pump Bitcoin. That's how it worked before. So you'll see that when Bitcoin consolidates as it goes up, what happens? The money goes into alts and memes, and then they generate a whole bunch of money, and then they'll dump the alts and memes, and then they'll put that money back into Bitcoin and pump Bitcoin. In every cycle prior, that's how it always worked. Until the very end, when the Bitcoin bubble popped, then you have that true altcoin season for like a month or 2 weeks where alts just exploded. But this time around, whales don't need to do that because the institutions keep pumping Bitcoin. So maybe that doesn't need to happen. But in prior cycles, that's how it worked. But maybe it's different this cycle. Do I know anything about ACT? I don't know what ACT is. I don't. Act 1, the AI prophecy. No clue. Is this a $683 million project, or is this a meme? I've never heard of this project before. It's quite big. It's a language model. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what it is yet. It's $684 million. Sorry, can't tell you. Oof. U.S. market is not looking good today. GM is laying off 1,000 employees. That's no good. See, headlines like this right here should reassure that we are going to get another rate cut. Because overall, the economy is not doing well. Despite what the stock market is doing, the U.S. economy is not doing well. So there was no reason for Powell to like spook the market yesterday, because we are going to get that rate cut next month. We have to, because the broader, the broader economy, I guess, is not doing well. People are not spending. People are not going out and buying cars and buying houses and going on vacations and stuff like that. So he needs to cut. He needs to cut and continue to cut. So whatever he said yesterday to spook the market, probably not a good idea. And he probably needs to resign along with Gary Gensler. Although he said, I'm not going to resign, but it's going to be a horrible working condition for him when everyone wants him to resign and he doesn't resign. Who's disrespectful asks, hey George, have you ever had surgery? I'm having some soon, and for the first time, kind of nervous. Yes, I've had to go under for knee surgery. I was kind of nervous, but not. Yeah, I had to get my ACL replaced and my meniscus removed, but it was very quick. I woke up. All is good, so I hope you have a successful surgery. But yeah, it was pretty quick. Pretty quick, but the recovery sucked. I was in bed for 6 months, rehabbing my knee, and then 6 months in crutches. After I got off crutches, I forgot how to walk. Like literally, it was a year. After you stop walking for a year, you forget how to walk. I had to retrain myself how to walk. I did physical therapy, and after years, you think it's good, and it's not. And I still have knee problems. That's why I tell you guys I have knee problems. It's like once you go through something like that, your body's just not the same. Thoughts on Link? It's boring, kind of like Cardano, but it'll go up just like Cardano. It always does, so no worries. But I will say my knees a lot better. I have been working at more, eating healthier, dropping the weight, and just doing what I can, and it has been a lot better. A lot better. Probably the best it's been for a long time. Coinbase holding on, barely holding on in green. Microstrategy barely holding on in green. Stock market is just trying to pull everything down today. But Bitcoin and crypto is strong today. Max B, it was never exactly the same, not explosive jumping off the right side anymore. Yeah, because there's just like some muscles that you train for your whole life, and afterwards, it's just not, you just can't regain. Yeah, there's just some muscles you can't regain back. Ivan, are Sui plays and as Dex coins good plays now? Are you talking about like Cetus or something within Sui? Could be. Sui kind of slowed down, but like Sui, man, went on a fire streak. Uh, it just did not stop. I mean, it went from sub $1 and held around $2, and then now it just pumped up to like 330. It's almost top 10. So yeah, it's 14. So you got to figure if it does move in top 10, you know, the dApps within, like DEXs, probably are going to follow too. Yeah, people mentioned Cetus before. I never picked up on it, but they are the biggest. They are the biggest DEX. Let's see what they're doing. 222 million. That's actually pretty cheap. If you compare it to Jupiter for Solana at 1.45 billion, that's like a 7x difference. Yeah, I would say Cetus is well, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but let's see. Market cap versus FDV, 1 billion max supply. Okay, so there's set supply, token unlock. Let's see. Token unlock schedule going into the end of 2025 isn't that bad. And into the end of 2026, from where it is now, maybe it goes up slightly, 200 million more. Isn't that bad compared to some of the other ones I've seen, like Sui. Sui just gets crazy. It has like a 30-year unlock schedule. So that's actually not bad. It's not on Coinbase yet, so that could be a big thing if it ever gets listed. Probably not, because Coinbase doesn't list anything besides Solana and ETH stuff. But it is on Binance already. Could be a good play. Jojo, is XRP rising due to FOMO? No, it's due to Gensler, his farewell speech. He's about to resign. We don't know when, but it's going to come soon. He basically gave a farewell speech yesterday. Look at this. Back right next to each other. XRP, Cardano up about 20% each. Pesto is pumping. What do you think? I don't know what Pesto is. That avatar of yours, you do not look like a Joshua, man. I'm sorry, but you do not look like a Joshua. I don't know what Pesto is. Pesto the baby king penguin. I'm not going to look at that. Look up snack. Oh man, SNEC is up 150 million. Man, they were just at 70 million. So it's probably because of Cardano news. Cardano is pumping, so they're pumping. Good for SNEC. They're the meme coin that made me like memes. So they changed my mind. They changed my mind on memes. You think, Jamie asked, since Pepe's on Robinhood and Coinbase, you think it'll go 10x from here? Yeah, it's maybe not 10x, 5x. It could be as big as Doge. I don't know about 10x. 10x is quite high. Maybe 5x. What happened to ETH? I don't know. Its lunch was eaten by Solana and others, I guess. Man, the broader market today. Man, Powell just did a number. Powell just like gave a big FU to all investors yesterday. His little thing, like, we're not in a rush to cut rates, man. That just like halted everything. I don't know why Wall Street is so afraid too. I don't know why that gave Wall Street such a pause and started dumping everything. It makes no sense. It changes nothing. Obviously, he's going to still have to cut rates when our economy sucks. When you hear about all these companies laying off like thousands of employees. Just yesterday, AMD said they're going to lay off like 1,000 employees. GM is going to lay off 1,000 employees. Everyone's laying off left and right. I mean, just because the stock market's going up doesn't mean that the economy's not going to shit. So I don't know why Powell did what he did. I think it's a big FU to all investors and to Trump because he knows Trump wants him gone. If it wasn't for him yesterday, we probably would be at like 100K today. Like, he really just like dampened everything. Are you able to look at FET's fundamentals and let us know if it looks solid? It does look solid. It's 3 freaking AI coins projects combined into one. Yes, it looks solid. They say Powell is the second most powerful man in the world. The president of the United States is the most powerful. The second most powerful man is the Fed chair because of that. Because he could say one thing and crash the world economy. Not just the U.S. economy, but the world economy. So that's how powerful he is. And recently he said the president of the United States does not have the authority to fire him. And if he was asked to step down, he would not step down. So I think yesterday was just a big FU. Like, better not mess with me. Can Brett do a 15x? Sure, it could. Will it? I don't know. I'm not a big Brett guy. I'm not a big Brett guy. I'll take that back. I'm nothing against Brett. I'm not a big base guy. Okay, that's my thing. I'm nothing against Brett. It's the biggest beam on base. They could continue to do well. I'm just not a big base guy. All right, guys. Happy Friday. We got 2 major movers today, XRP and Cardano, for good reason. One has been suppressed for a long time, and another is due to rumors that there may be a big collaboration with Elon and our government in the U.S. Outside of that, I mean, Bitcoin was doing well until the broader market just like started dumping. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Like I said at the beginning, where we are right now, honestly, you got to see all dips as buying opportunities. We're at a point now where everything is so expensive, especially for Bitcoin. If you want to continue to DCA in Bitcoin, you got to see these opportunities and seize them, because once we start really moving again, once we break 90, 100 and keep on going, man, it's going to get expensive. So do not be discouraged. Continue your path, hold on DCA, and let the gains come to you, okay? Because things are going to get wild. They'll get real wild. So a little consolidation is good, and you gotta view all these upcoming dips and consolidations as gifts, because we are gonna go way, way, way higher. And it's kind of scary to think about it. All right, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys, I guess Monday. Tomorrow I have another crypto cruise video for you guys. I don't even know what car. I could choose between a Prius and a Bronco. I guess you guys tell me, would you rather see a Prius or Bronco? And then my Sunday walk. And then I'll see you guys on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. And go watch the Tyson fight. And before I take off, because it's XRP day, let me show you this.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.